and gentlemen, I'm the one and only DJ Storms. And I would like to welcome all of you back here to the channel right here on YouTube.com. Of course, you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy, and the operator of the best damn Twitter handle known to mankind. This is, of course, the Lightning Flash update for Friday, June 15th, 2018. We are just 2 days away from Money in the Bank pay-per-view, and I got a couple of big talking points, some for Money in the Bank, some on a few returning WWE superstars, and we'll talk about that later on in the video. Let's get straight into the weekly show reviews. Monday Night Raw. Again, do I have to talk about Monday Night Raw? Because I don't want to. Monday Night Raw, let me tell you something. It is plummeting so low that it has gone through the ground and it is on its way to the center of the earth. That's Monday Night Raw. Raw kicked off with a ripoff of the 2016 Money in the Bank build when all the competitors were on ladders. Angle came out. Constable Corbin interrupted. So Corbin shaved his head. Corbin is in a constable role, a Mick Foley commissioner ripoff role, when he really should be in the Intercontinental Championship title scene. These guys, you know, they just didn't gel together. They didn't. And I think the Wrestling Observer newsletter reported that Corbin and Angle might be on a collision course to SummerSlam. But the Raw competitors, they just had these retarded bickering segments, and then the segment just ended with Braun yelling. Like, really? One of the good parts of the show, because Raw became a 2 to 3 highlight show yet again, Natalya defeated Alexa Bliss, Ember Moon, and Sasha Banks. This was a good match for what it was. Ember Moon is a very hard-hitting competitor. She did a suicide dive that sent her and Banks head first right into the barricade. It looked brutal in every sense of the word. But Natalya got the win. Does she win? I don't know. I actually got some news on that once we get to the news, rumors, and reports section. McIntyre and Ziggler defeated Breezango in dominating fashion. McIntyre and Ziggler cutting a great promo after the match. And, you know, I really hope McIntyre and Ziggler do go somewhere. If they are going to do anything with McIntyre and Ziggler, I expect McIntyre and Ziggler to defeat Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt for the Raw Tag Team titles. Maybe at Extreme Rules. You never know. Then all of a sudden, we had Roman Reigns and Jinder Mahal. This was actually in the beginning portion of the show, and what I find cringe is Michael Cole uttered the words, big time action. Big time action for a Roman Reigns and Jinder Mahal match. No. No, this is not big time action, Michael Cole. This is shit time action. That's Roman Reigns and Jinder Mahal. It's not big time action, it is shit time action. But this ended up with Jinder Mahal putting Sunil Singh in a match with Roman Reigns. Roman defeated Sunil Singh, and then Mahal stood tall after a colossal Roman Reigns. This will be the worst match of the year at Money in the Bank. B-Team defeated Slater and Rhino, and Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt made their presence known, and cutting great promos yet again. I've been loving Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt. I hope they hold the tag team titles for a little while longer. I don't know if they're defending them against the B-Team at Money in the Bank. They haven't announced the match to be official yet. But hopefully we do get a good match out of the B-Team and Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt. Elias performed, and he's great as usual. And Elias actually showed off a custom-made guitar, and it was very well put together. It had the Intercontinental Championship on it. It had like Elias's name, and it was great. It looked fantastic. But during his performance, he was bad-mouthing Seth Rollins. Rollins then came out, and Rollins was kind of teasing the curb stomp to the guitar, like if he was going to do it or not. And Elias was like, no, don't do it, don't do it. And Seth Rollins curb stomped the guitar. This should be one of the better matches at Money in the Bank. I'm actually looking forward to this match. And if I was to pick a person to win it, to win the match right now, I would pick Seth Rollins. Ruby Riott then defeated Bayley. This was a decent match for what it was. Ruby Riott and Bayley, very competitive female athletes. And I actually got some news on this when we get to the news, rumors, and reports section. Rousey and Jax came face-to-face. Nia basically said that Ronda is not ready. Ronda dropped some truth on Nia, bringing in some of her career accolades, saying that, people said I wasn't ready for UFC, but now I'm going into the Hall of Fame. And then a brawl broke out, and Nia ended up tapping to the armbar. So, will that be the scene at Money in the Bank? I don't think so. But we're going to see what happens. No Way Jose defeated Curt Hawkins. Curt Hawkins actually tried a sneak attack, and he dressed up as one of Jose's conga line compatriots. And he ended up getting that pop-up fastball punch. And he ended up getting knocked out. So 201 losses for Mr. Curt Hawkins. Sami Zayn and Bobby Lashley had an obstacle course. An obstacle course. Really? This ended with Lashley going first, and let me tell you something. I will give Lashley credit. He is a beast. He is a beast when it comes to obstacle courses. He is a freak of nature, but this really went nowhere because Sami attacked Lashley, delivered a haluva kick to him, and that was pretty much it. The only hope that I have for this match is that I hope it's good. Then we had the main event. Braun Strowman defeated Kevin Owens, Finn Balor, and Bobby Roode. This was a great match for what it was. They had a lot of interesting spots in this match. It was an all-out brawl. Owens hit a frog splash to Strowman through the announce table, which looked so graceful. I don't know what is it about Kevin Owens, but Kevin Owens is just so flush in everything that he does. They really got to give Kevin Owens another Universal Championship title run. But this ended with all three men just going at each other while Strowman was out. Balor nearly defeated Braun Strowman with the coup de grace. Roode broke it up, hit the glorious DDT on Strowman. Owens broke it up, and then Owens hit the frog splash on Strowman, and Strowman still kicked out. Owens brought a ladder into the mix, and Strowman took advantage and power slammed Owens on a ladder. Strowman came back and won in a great match. So we're going to see what happens at Money in the Bank between these four men, plus you add Rusev, Joe, Miz, and a member of the New Day. Really, the two Fatal 4-Ways made the show. Everything else was completely boring, completely irrelevant. SmackDown Live, on the other hand, now, I am always going to stick by this one statement. Great wrestling equals a great wrestling show, and that's what we got for SmackDown. We got some great wrestling. The Women's Money in the Bank Summit took place, and the women basically talked about who's going to win, and then the Iconics interrupted, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville interrupted, a brawl broke out. No one really cared about this segment. It was really just a nothing segment. Then we went into a very good match between Daniel Bryan and Shelton Benjamin. Shelton Benjamin is in great shape. Shelton Benjamin's in great shape, and, he's doing some great work. He's got a lot of great moves. That running knee up on the top turnbuckle looks brutal. Benjamin could really give someone a concussion with that. But I don't know why they don't push Shelton Benjamin. Shelton Benjamin would make a great U.S. champion. Daniel Bryan then defeated Shelton Benjamin. Shelton Benjamin mainly worked on the knee of Daniel Bryan. He hit a shin breaker on the announce table at the beginning of the match. These two went back and forth. Daniel Bryan ended up reversing the single leg Boston Crab into the heel hook, and Daniel Bryan got the win. So, a very good match to kick off the action on SmackDown Live, and hopefully we get a good match with Daniel Bryan and Big Cass at Money in the Bank, though I doubt it. Jerry the King Lawler, he interviewed AJ Styles on the stage, and he basically asked what made Styles slap the taste out of Nakamura's mouth. Styles basically said that Nakamura wants to play games. He's acting like a child, but I'm going to be the man. I'm going to be the last man standing at Money in the Bank. He basically vowed to win at Money in the Bank and proved that SmackDown Live is the house that AJ Styles built. We had Rusev versus Samoa Joe. This was a decent match, and Miz was the special guest referee. An interesting turn of events spiraled near the end of the match when Rusev was going for, I think, a stinger splash on Samoa Joe near the end. Samoa Joe reversed it, and Joe ended up taking out The Miz. when Aiden English was distracting The Miz by mistake. And The Miz did not count after Joe hit the Uranagi on Rusev. And then Samoa Joe just started to bend The Miz's fingers back, Pete Dunne style. And then he caught a Machka kick from Rusev, and Rusev defeated Samoa Joe. So Rusev's on a roll as of lately. They're really doing Rusev good. I don't know what is it, but he got a victory over Daniel Bryan. He now has a victory over Samoa Joe. So Rusev might be going into Money in the Bank with a good chance. At the end, Joe was taken out by Rusev after Rusev hit him with a ladder. The Miz then took out Rusev with a skull-crushing finale. Miz grabbed the contract, and he found pancakes in the contract after he put it in front of Byron Saxton. And Byron Saxton said, "There's no contract. All there is pancakes." So the Miz was obviously all pissed, throwing the pancakes. You saw the New Day laughing in the back. That was that. Then we had Nakamura versus Jeff Hardy. And Jeff Hardy actually brought me down memory lane for a minute, coming out wearing the black tank top and the armbands with the holes in them, looking like himself from 2008. So I got some good 2008 vibes there when I first started watching WWE, and I remember seeing Jeff Hardy as WWE champion near the end of 2008. So, good little flashback right there for Jeff Hardy. This was actually turning into a good match. They went back and forth. Hardy actually hit the Swanton Bomb, but he had an injured back during the match, so he was not able to get the cover in time, and Nakamura got his foot on the rope. Nakamura ended up hitting him with a low blow, a Kinshasa, and he counted to 10. Obviously, this is all heading towards the last man standing match with Nakamura and AJ Styles. Cass had a promo in the back, and the prop really took away from it. If Cass just wanted to talk about him bonding with everyone else, then he didn't really need that prop. But I get what he was trying to do. He was trying to use some symbolic language, saying that Daniel Bryan is going to come crashing down if he tries to get up to his level. It's going to be a free fall drop. So hopefully we get a good match out of Daniel Bryan and Big Cass. Hopefully. Then we had a 10-woman tag after Asuka interrupted Paige in the back, and Asuka wanted Carmella tonight, and Paige made it a 10-woman tag. So Asuka, Becky Lynch, Charlotte, Naomi, and Lana defeated the Iconics, Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, and Carmella. It wasn't that bad. I mean, I'm not really a fan. We all know that the concept of multi-women matches has been beaten to death, especially in the last 8 months, but it really wasn't that bad. We actually had some decent wrestling, and Asuka won by tapping out Carmella. Hopefully that is the scene at Money in the Bank, because Carmella needs to lose that title ASAP. But all in all, SmackDown was a great wrestling show. We actually had some very good wrestling between some very good wrestlers, and I hope to see the same at Money in the Bank. That's really all I can ask. I want great wrestling shows. Speaking of great wrestling shows, 205 Live stepped up their game. We had a 6-man tag team match between Gran Metalik, Lince Dorado, and Kalisto, the Lucha House Party, taking on Brian Kendrick, Drew Gulak, and Gentleman Jack Gallagher. This was a good match. And you know something? I really, really, really love the competitive nature within 205 Live. I don't know what it is, but something about 205 Live just screams competitive nature. And I felt this way for a long, long time. 205 Live just has so much more of a competitive nature than Raw and SmackDown. Well, SmackDown, as of lately, it has been developing some competitive nature, but recently, over the past number of months, 205 Live has been up there as far as competitive nature. And this 6-man tag match really showed it. These two teams went back and forth. We had some nice high-flying action from the Lucha House Party. Gulak tried to cheat with the roll-up of the tights, but the ref caught him, and Dorado ended up stealing Drew Gulak's move with a roll-up full of tights, and the Lucha House Party won, so I'm assuming we might get another rematch for the time being. I believe that this is a temporary feud for Gulak, because I believe that Gulak could very well be challenging for the Cruiserweight Championship maybe in the next month. Speaking of the Cruiserweight Championship title picture, tensions are rising between Hideo Itami, Buddy Murphy, and Mustafa Ali. And Hideo basically saying that he's going to be the next Cruiserweight Champion. You know, he doesn't think that Mustafa or Murphy deserve to be in the main event. Heel Itami is the best Itami. Remember that. Akira Tozawa just defeated a jobber to get him back in winning ways. Lio Rush had another promo. I cannot wait till Lio Rush debuts. He's going to be a big player on 205 Live. Then in the main event, we had a very good match between Mustafa Ali and Tony Nese. Tony Nese is another one. Tony Nese, a very underrated competitor on 205 Live. Tony Nese and Shelton Benjamin, they definitely deserve a push sometime in the future. I don't care when, but I would love to see Tony Nese in the Cruiserweight title picture near the end of the year. But this was a very good match, a very competitive match between Tony Nese and Mustafa Ali. They went back and forth, and Cedric and Murphy were actually at ringside because Murphy came out, and Cedric came out to even the odds. They ended up brawling out of the ring and ended up brawling into the back. The match continued between Tony Nese and Mustafa Ali. Tony Nese went for the running Nese in the corner, but Mustafa Ali countered into that corner tornado DDT, and Nese landing right on the top of his head. I don't know what is it about some of these guys selling, but you got to be careful when you're selling Mustafa Ali's moves, because Mustafa Ali's moves could kill. So Mustafa and his opponent, they really need to tone it down, because I want these guys to have lengthy careers on 205 Live. Mustafa won with the 054 in a very good main event for 205 Live, and Mustafa said, you know what, Drake Maverick, why don't you give the people what they want? Why don't you make the match for next week, Hideo, Murphy, and myself, a triple threat match? Not to say that I called it, but, you know, I called it. So I think that someone from WWE must be watching this show, because they took my idea with Carmella and Asuka at Money in the Bank. They took my idea for a triple threat match. Now all we need to do is get Sanity versus the Bludgeon Brothers at SummerSlam and Hardy versus Almas down the line. Then I know someone's watching the show. But Maverick made the match. And next week we got Hideo versus Murphy versus Ali. This could be a very good match, could possibly be the match of the week. And I believe that Hideo Itami is going to take this win, because like I said last week, Murphy already got his opportunity, and Mustafa doesn't need to be in the Cruiserweight title picture for the time being right now. And I think Hideo is going to get the next Cruiserweight title opportunity against Cedric Alexander, maybe in the next couple weeks. Maybe we see it at the beginning of July. You never know. But a very good episode for 205 Live. NXT. This was a great episode with some great wrestling as well. Show started off with the War Raiders defeating some jobbers, and then they called out TM61, and the match was made for next week during the Chicago taping of NXT television. Gargano and Ciampa had a promo package which was completely breathtaking. I cannot wait for this match. This match could very well be better than what we saw in New Orleans, and that is saying something. I cannot wait for Gargano and Ciampa. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. I'm not even lying. EC3 defeated Cassius Ohno. This was a short match, but it was a good match for what it was. Cassius Ohno is a very hard-hitting competitor. I would not want to be on the receiving end of some of Cassius Ohno's strikes. Like, I believe that Ohno, legitimately, when he's doing some of his strikes, he just swings for the fences. He doesn't even care. Cassius Ohno, my God, he was throwing everything at EC3. He was throwing forearms. He was throwing cyclone kicks. He did 3 sentons that looked to knock the wind out of EC3. And I actually took a step back when he hit those 3 sentons, especially the one on the outside. Cassius Ohno's sentons look brutal. Brutal, let me tell you. If you want to go back and watch the match for those senton spots alone, be careful when you're watching it, because you might get the wind knocked out of you yourself. Just watching Cassius Ohno deliver those sentons will knock the wind out of me. But EC3 won with that TKO, or as he's calling it, I believe he's calling it the 1%er. He's moving away from that headlock driver that he used to do in TNA, and EC3 defeated Cassius Ohno, so EC3's on a roll. Bianca Belair then defeated Aaliyah, and then she had a promo backstage with Dakota Kai, and they are set to face off next week against each other in the NXT television tapings in Chicago. So I'm looking forward to that match. The main event, my God. You want to talk about the match of the month so far? Look no further than Kyle O'Reilly and Pete Dunne. I've been wanting Pete Dunne to have another UK title defense because I've been loving Pete Dunne's United Kingdom Championship title defenses. We had one against Kyle O'Reilly. This match, I believe, went 12-13 minutes, and man, it was brutal. We had some brutal strikes. We had some brutal submission holds. We had brutal joint manipulation. And let me tell you something. Whenever Pete Dunne does the joint manipulation, whether it be on the wrist, whether he's bending the fingers back, my God, it looks just so disgusting. It makes me want to recoil. I would not want to be on the receiving end of Pete Dunne's joint manipulation. I was legitimately getting feeling in my fingers when I saw Kyle O'Reilly's fingers being bent back all the way to his elbow. But this match went back and forth. Pete Dunne pulled out a butterfly suplex into the armbar. We had Kyle O'Reilly hitting some brutal kicks and strikes. We had Pete Dunne hitting a brutal enziguri. Kyle O'Reilly, I think, was going for the win, and Pete Dunne hit a finger snap that just kind of bent Kyle O'Reilly's fingers the wrong way, hit the bitter end, and Kyle O'Reilly is defeated. Pete Dunne retains the United Kingdom Championship in a fantastic match. And then afterwards, the Undisputed Era, Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan came out, and it was just a huge brawl, and Burch and Lorcan stood tall. So Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch are heading into TakeOver Chicago with a lot of momentum. I can't wait to see how that match turns out. And then the main event segment, we had Aleister Black addressing Lars Sullivan. Aleister didn't really say too much because Lars came out and he delivered 3 freak accidents to Aleister Black, and then he just deposited Aleister Black on the table, took the NXT title, and just stood over him with the NXT title. So Aleister Black, I believe that Aleister Black's going to win, but this is going to be a true test for Lars Sullivan, and I think Lars Sullivan will be NXT champion down the line, but I don't think it's his time right now. But Lars Sullivan is making me a believer. He is making me a believer that he could very well walk out come Saturday with the NXT Championship, and I cannot wait to see this match. This could be a very underrated match. Do not underestimate this match. Overall, a great episode of NXT. So let's get into the news, rumors, and reports. I don't really have too much. I don't really have too many monumental, groundbreaking reports except for one, and I'm going to get into it a little later on. But for now, we're going to start off the news, rumors, and reports section with this report. Concerning Money in the Bank, Cage Side Seats reported that the Miz and Natalya are the current favorites to win their respective Money in the Bank ladder matches. I'd be okay with the Miz. I really have no problem with the Miz. I believe the Miz taking the Money in the Bank briefcase would really do good and could very well enhance the storyline with him and Daniel Bryan down the line once Daniel Bryan does win the WWE title and the Miz robs him. Natalya, look, I got nothing against Natalya, but she's at the end of her career. And think about this. Natalya going over Ember Moon, when you have a big opportunity to have Ember Moon versus Sasha Banks for the Raw Women's title at SummerSlam, having Ember Moon cash in at Extreme Rules after Nia Jax defeats Sasha Banks, or make it a triple threat match like Seth Rollins did with Roman and Lesnar, and having Ember Moon defeat Nia Jax and Sasha Banks at Extreme Rules, becoming the Raw Women's Champion, Nia getting her rematch, and then having Sasha, a heel Sasha, face off against Ember Moon at SummerSlam. That would be a fantastic women's match. And I would love to see that. So, Miz, I'm okay with. Natalya, not really. Give it to Ember Moon. I got another report from Cage Side Seats. Cage Side Seats also reported that Jason Jordan is expected to return after Money in the Bank and start a feud with Baron Corbin. So, Jason Jordan versus Baron Corbin, it could be a good match. I'm not going to discredit them. Hopefully Jason Jordan does have a more successful run with Baron Corbin more so than he did during his first run as a singles competitor with the likes of The Miz, Roman, and Seth. Next, I got a report from PW Insider. PW Insider reported that Alicia Fox will also be returning soon. Alicia Fox actually has been out for about 5 or 6 months because she got injured a little bit before Money in the Bank. Not Money in the Bank. A little bit before the Royal Rumble, and Alicia Fox was supposed to team with Goldust in the Mixed Match Challenge, but she was replaced by Mandy Rose. So Alicia Fox should be returning. Hopefully she'll get some good treatment once she gets back. And now it's time for my shout out to Mr. Slice Wrestling. This is actually the biggest report that I have, so shout out to Slice Wrestling. Follow him at Slice Wrestling on Twitter. And I quote, this is one of his tweets. Report, Ring of Honor has reached a deal to hold a mega event at the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden, in 2019 in NYC. So for those Ring of Honor fans, if you're looking to go to a mega event for Ring of Honor, now's your chance. They're hosting an event at MSG in 2019, and it is going to be phenomenal in every sense of the word. I've been keeping up with Ring of Honor here and there, but I haven't really been watching it religiously. And my final report comes from PW Insider, and it concerns Bayley and her future. And she is set to actually have a lengthy feud with the Riott Squad, so don't really expect her to get involved in the Raw Women's title picture down the line. Or at least over the summer. But ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up this edition of the Lightning Flash Update. I would like to thank each and every one of you who tuned into this video live. Do not forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at @TheDJStorms. Do not forget to like. Do not forget to comment. Do not forget to subscribe. Do not forget to check out the rundown for NXT TakeOver Chicago, which I posted on Tuesday. And finally, tomorrow, do not forget to check out the official rundown for Money in the Bank pay-per-view with my special guest star, Dr. Hugenstein. Follow him on Twitter at Dr. Huge Show. Him and me, we're gonna give our expertise analysis on Money in the Bank, and we're gonna have a good time. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm the one and only DJ Storms. This has been the Lightning Flash Update, and you have a great weekend. I will see you tomorrow.